Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. This is a really interesting one you probably want to have a look at. We're going to have a bit of a giggle first now. This oil leak thing here, right? Now, firstly, the most important part you need to know is, you know how I sort of say these newer vehicles, I'll let you know when it's time to buy a newer vehicle, because I don't know what, this is bizarre, mate, you know, 60,000 Ks and we've got that oil leak sweat. Now, I did another video and it was called the cheapest oil leak fix that works. Now, it's been very popular because a lot of people obviously are cheapskates and they love the freebies and all that sort of thing. Now, I just want to get a couple of clacks, a couple of facts clear. I want to clear up, clear the confusion. Obviously, we've been around a while. We know how things work. So if anyone's looked at the comments, there's a few people that obviously maybe they saw the one video and they sort of thought, oh, you know, let me explain, right? So this is the transfer case. Up to there, up to that join there, this is the transfer case. From there forward is the automatic transmission. In between the two is an airspace. There's no oil in there, right? Now, well, there shouldn't be any oil in there. In this case, there is oil in there. Now, first comment that I want to cover is some people said, I reckon that's just oil grease flick from the propeller shafts. Well, for a start, there ain't that much grease there because I'll let you in on a little secret. It's had Toyota capped servicing, right? That's right, Toyota capped servicing, not capped price, capped servicing. 10,000 Ks. Tail shaft, propeller shaft, slip joints, and grease nipples dry. 20,000 Ks dry, 30,000 Ks dry, 40,000 Ks dry. This is the driest driveline I've ever seen. What I did notice at one of the first services though, a stupid amount of grease on the bump stops at the front that you don't need. So be careful where you go to get your vehicle serviced and if they're doing the right things or not. At the 50,000 K service, we actually lubricated the driveline for probably what we believe could be the first time, and now there's a few little very light, you can see, you know, maybe we'll have another video, so that's why you subscribe, turn the bell on. We'll go through a few of those things on this vehicle. Just to be clear, this is a September 2019 manufactured vehicle. It's not even 2 years old. It's only done highway Ks. So why is there oil there if there's not meant to be oil there? Now, I just want to be clear, it's not coming, look, you know, sometimes they're over greased it and it throws grease over there and the grease has got, you know, the oil comes out of the grease and it spreads a little bit. But the line, I don't know if you can see it, the line kind of goes up around here all the way up to there. I don't know if you can see that, right? It's like a sweat of oil, and here it's not a drip. So if you took it in for warranty, they could probably say, oh, it's not a leak, it's just a sweat, it's normal. And what I'll say is, and I've said it in other videos, if you've got this, don't panic, because I'll say this is probably a Toyota problem. Toyota don't have many problems, I'm going to tell you straight. This is a problem. They need to make the seal better, and we'll get to what it is leaking in a moment and how to fix it and why you probably shouldn't take this in under warranty if you've got a leak like this, and why you shouldn't repair it. Because firstly, if you take it in under warranty, that means the kids that work there, because you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Now, sorry to the guys, I know there's a few good technicians that work there, and sorry to the kids that work there, really, you know, I mean, it's not your fault you weren't given the correct training, education throughout your life, and nobody ever said, I actually want things done properly, clean, whatever. So it's kind of not your fault, right? But if you watch these videos, you might have a bit of it's all attitude, right? So the deal is, if somebody works on this and they don't know what they're doing, they leave bolts loose, they over tighten things, they lose bolts, you know, car wreckers, people wreck cars. So I actually don't want anyone to work on it. It's not bad enough to repair, and I don't believe it's going to get much worse. And I've explained in videos a couple of things. If you were to check this oil level at 200, 300, 400,000 Ks and not have changed it, it's not losing enough oil. So my point is, by putting sealant there, it's not to stop the oil leak, fix the oil. And some people said, so this is what I said in the comments, some people said, oh, I'd tighten up the bolts first. It wouldn't be hard to tighten up the bolts. Well, that just demonstrates your lack of knowledge, and that's understandable, right? There's not meant to be oil in there. This isn't the joint in a gearbox. That's not like here, see up here where this red stuff is, right? If that's leaking, then maybe you could tighten it up. And again, putting that smear of RTV, you might think it doesn't look good, but who's sitting around looking under the vehicle going, oh, that doesn't look good, right? So I'm not into doing major works, pulling this out, fixing the oil leak, and charging someone hundreds of dollars when I just explain the situation. What we can do, if you're worried about this bit of oil, what we can do is just put a smear, and there's different ways you can do it, and you can tape up each side, and you can make it like artwork and whatever. The idea of the video was demonstrating an easier way to hide the oil leak. It is hiding the oil leak, tidy up the oil leak, prevent, it's not really a leak actually, but some are worse than others. This is quite surprising at just under 60,000 Ks how much oil's there, and you know it's oil because where the oil comes out, you can see the clearer, so it's gone down here a bit, some of the dust is stuck to it, whatever. That's how we know it's definitely an oil leak. There's no doubt about it, there's oil coming from there, it's not coming from the propeller shaft. There's no doubt about it, tightening up those bolts isn't going to make any difference. Quality control in Japan, those bolts won't be loose anyway, right? But it's not going to make any difference, so think before you comment, right? Just have a think about it. I've been around a while, I didn't come down in the last shower, so I understand what's actually leaking. Now, how do we know what's leaking? How do we know if it's a transfer case or the transmission? Well, pretty simple if you think about it, because most transmissions, including these, the oil's red in colour, so we call it red cordial. There's no red cordial here. If you touch that and look at your finger, I'm not going to demonstrate, it's not red, so it's not transmission oil. There's no other oil that can get to anywhere near there other than the oil in the transfer case, and I know what that usually looks like, and it's consistent with the colour of that tiny sample of oil I can take off there. So the only way oil can be there, and it is from the transfer case, is the input seal at the transfer case. So there's an input and an output of every transmission or transfer case. The transmission at the other end's the input, the back's the output, so I'd say the output on the transmission, if it was red, the output of the transfer case is at the back here where the tail shaft is, you know, back here, and the input is hidden in there inside that cavity. Now, on the manuals, same deal, you know, you've got a gearbox, there's some air, it's like an airspace, right? And usually there's a separate breather to it. That's why if you're doing something with your diff breathers, you don't need to, I don't, and all that, that's another story. And you're going, oh, why so many? Usually there's one on the transfer case. Every vehicle varies a bit as well, but if you're going, why is there an extra one? One on the transfer case, one on the transmission, and one on the airspace, because it's a separate compartment. So the deal is, yes, that's right, it shouldn't be leaking. It could be caused by dust blocking breathers and stuff like that, but looking under this vehicle, I've got to tell you, it's pretty clean. It's been done a lot of highway Ks, it's done outback trips, dirt roads and whatever, but it hasn't been through muddy, boggy stuff. All the dust is generally further back. It's very clean. In another video, we'll do an inspection. I haven't washed underneath the vehicle. Don't get me wrong, a quick rinse, washing around the wheel arches and whatever, but I haven't put degreaser, truck wash, any major washing underneath the vehicle. And we will have another video probably on our touring channel. So in case you missed it, our other channel with that sort of information, 4 Before Adventures. We've changed the name of it, 4 Before Adventures. We've got a Facebook group called 4 Before Adventures. We've got a Facebook group called 4 Before Diesel. You might want to be on both of those as well, so you can discuss the information. If you've got a problem, you can share it and maybe ask for help. So the deal is, we've got it all clear now. Tightening the bolt isn't going to work. It's not from the tail shaft. It's definitely oil. It's from the transfer case. It's the input seal that's leaking, but you could hardly call it a leak, and it wouldn't be worth spending the time, the money to get that fixed if your vehicle, so you could have a 1KD or you could have a V6, and even if you've got drips forming there, I would not fix it. I wouldn't fix it until you take this filler plug off and check the oil level, and you're going, oh wow, I've really got to bend my finger a bit to get oil on it, which you won't. If it's set at the right level, it ain't even gonna, the level's not gonna drop. Keep an eye on it though. Look under there every couple of months and go, you know, when you clean the car, and just go, oh yeah, no, it's just normal. Hit it with a bit of degreaser and hit it with a pressure wash. Give it a wash so you know where it's at. Oh yeah, normal, whatever. No, if you find it really annoying just being like that, look, you need to just learn to relax a bit, okay? It's not worth fixing. If you want to do something about it and you don't want to waste your money, that's the cheapest oil leak fix that works. That's what it's all about. You can do it as neat as you like. How long did the video go for? I don't know, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't ever remember. But if I did all this and taped it up, the video would have went for 20 minutes, half an hour, and people would be complaining, oh, get to the point, right? So this is why I've got to do another video now, demonstrating how early on you can have this oil leak, right? So maybe it's a problem. I'll say it's kind of a problem because they all do it, but it's not a big problem. I've never seen one that's pouring out oil that's worth fixing. We've actually got a client that wants to fix one of these. I've tried to talk him out of it. I haven't seen it lately. Maybe it's worse than what it is, and I know he's got massive OCD problems, and that's good, but sometimes you need to calm those. Maybe you need to get out the bottle of Frangelico or the bottle of, whatever it is, you're going to, something to calm your nerves a little bit, and just go, don't worry about it, because it's not losing oil level. If it's not if it's dripping. Now, if you've got a drip on your garage floor, that does my head in. That's when it's time to do something, and that's when you go, well, let me show you, no, it's still full, even though it's a drip. What are we going to do here? Yeah, by sealing that up, it isn't going to make anything worse, because the worst you're going to have is like, what is it, 5 mil of oil, 10 mil of oil a year, and it's just going to sit in that cavity there. Whatever, if you're worried about it filling up, then just break a little bit off, drill a little hole. No, I'm just joking. Let it drain out once a year when you do your oil change, and then just put a little bit of RTV over again, Dodgy, yeah, whatever. It's quite funny, some of the comments, mate. People just don't get it. We understand how things work. We're trying to give people better, easier solutions, and I've gone even more in depth now. I'm going to call this one another cheap oil leak fix that works, so that hopefully people that saw that one watch this one and they sort of get it a little bit. Now, if you want to fix it properly, you're going to need to slip the transfer case out. You're going to need to replace that seal. And guess what? If it happens every 60,000 Ks, you could be doing it every year or two. So you enjoy that there. And if you're paying a workshop, by the time they spend the time to get it out, get the parts, change the seal, put it in, if they're paying peanuts and they've got monkeys, they're going to wreck your car. If it's a good workshop, they're going to charge you a good hourly rate. Could be a couple $100 an hour to run the business and have the right staff there to do the job right. It's going to be a few hours. It's going to cost you hundreds. Could be close to $1,000 to change that seal. Oh yeah, that's a lot of money, some people say. Well, do you want your car wrecked or do you want it done properly? And you could be doing it, so good luck with that, right? So you've got all the information at hand now to make your decision. Thanks for watching. This is under 60,000 Ks, less than 2 years old, on an AC 60F. Behind that transmission is the transfer case. You've seen, bada bing, thumbs up if you like that. The first oil that went in the driveline, yep. So look, we're going to give that a clean up. And for the first time, looking under the vehicle now, we can actually see a little bit of moisture on the slip joints because we don't overgrease it. So that pretty well confirms it's the first time they've lubricated. And if they did before, they mustn't have done more than half a pump because no oil got to the slip joint until now. Luckily, we've noticed that at low Ks and they would have pre-lubed it, so it wouldn't have caused any wear. But if that continued through the life of the vehicle, once you get to 150, 200, 250, you're going to see like things wear in those slip joints, uni joint problems, really a lot of play in uni joints. And that's not a Toyota problem, that's a people can't service the cars problem at where. Anyway, I'm out of here. I've talked enough crap. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on. More genuine, real information coming your way soon on both channels, 4x4 Diesel and 4x4 Adventures. See you guys.